Welcome to our first catch up with the experts. Joining us today is Mathilde, the Managing Director of Planet Holidays and Weddings, who we've been working with for many years now, booking the most incredible weddings in Cyprus and Greece. I'm now going to hand you over to Natalie, our European wedding specialist.
Hi, Mathilde. Thank you for joining us today and giving up your time.
Hi, Natalie.
Right, so our first question is, due to the current climate, have you seen an increase in destination weddings?
Funny enough, yes, I've had a number of couples who have come on to us saying, we have got a wedding booked in the UK for this year, 21, but because of the situation, we've now decided to postpone to 2022, and we will definitely want to do it overseas.
Oh, wow.
So,
So
yes,
it is definitely increasing.
Quite positive, yes.
That's good. So where is the most popular wedding abroad destination that you feature?
Well, Cyprus is still very popular because it's easier on the paperwork, but Greece is really busy as well, especially Santorini, of course, because of these magnificent views.
Yeah.
And Rhodes next year, or this year and next year, Rhodes is doing amazing. Very, very good.
Yeah. Brilliant. That's good. So is it easy to, you've kind of touched on this one already, but is it easy to get married abroad, and what legal requirements do people need?
Oh, well, it depends where you're going. So the easiest is Cyprus. Having said that, due to Brexit, unfortunately, the paperworks have changed. And now the affidavit that they used to get, well, they still do get from their solicitor, now has to be sent to the Foreign Office to be apostilled. So it would take, yeah, you see, you didn't know that. It will take a couple of, maybe a week to 10 days extra. So I can't tell you, yeah, you want it next week, no problem. Now it'll have to be, well, give it 2 or 3 weeks kind of thing before, to get the paperwork. Now, the funny thing is that in Cyprus, they're not 100% sure what's going to happen, but I've got one side of the island, like Paphos, who are saying, we want all the paperwork apostille, so that will be the birth certificate and everything else, whilst Ayanapa and Protara said, no, we only want just the affidavits. So that's Cyprus. Of course, Greece, there's no change on the paperwork. They still need certificate of no impediment, long version of the birth certificate, and all that has to be sent to the FCO. But it's straightforward because we hold your hand, as you know.
Yeah, as we know,
tell you exactly when you have to make your meeting with the local registrar, when you have to send the papers, and we deal with all the translation and everything. So easy.
Perfect. I can honestly say it's very easy having you holding our hand the whole way through.
That's the idea.
What makes Planet Weddings different to any of the other wedding planners that clients can use?
Right. Well, I would say we have the experience, definitely, as I started wedding many moons ago, and I've done thousands of them. And also I would say because we have our own wedding planners in resorts, we are there to help you. So yes, of course, a client can go and book a wedding direct with a hotel, but if anything goes wrong on the day, and it could, then the wedding planner of the hotel is not going to look after the client. She's going to look after her job, and therefore is not on the side of the client. So I always say definitely to have a proper, qualified wedding planner by your side is definitely the best idea.
Yeah, I can vouch for that actually, because our clients who we've had many weddings with you, and they have all said that the girls in resort have been phenomenal and just make everything go seamlessly. So that's brilliant.
Yeah, and I mean some tour operators, which will remain nameless, obviously, will do use the planner of the hotels, but I don't think it's a good idea. And definitely, also the other thing is our girls only deal with wedding. They won't sell you a booze cruise in between. They will only deal with the flowers, the cake, the photographer. They are purely dealing with your wedding, and they're there with you all the way.
Can I just interrupt in there, because I'd like to say, even though I'm off Broadway travel, I'd like to just say the reason we use Mathilde is because of the relationship we have with Mathilde, which comes down to the brides. They quickly realise that the relationship that Natalie and Mathilde have is very, very special. and it equals that day becoming even more special, because the attention to detail between the two of you. I mean, I've seen the emails, and any bride
Yeah.
that books with the pair of you, oh my gosh, the detail is second to none. So I'm a huge fan of Planet Holidays Weddings, working with Off Broadway. Natty and Matilde do go the extra mile. And the other good thing is Matilde is our neighbour. So
Yes.
Natalie sometimes takes advantage of that situation.
Never.
Never.
So there's a great reason to book with the pair of them.
Yeah, we know where you live.
Oh yeah, I know. And
She
I've
also
got your
knows where you
mobile
live.
too.
You do now, yeah.
I do.
What is availability looking like for Greek Cypriot weddings for this summer?
Well, this summer it's getting very tight, only because April, May, and June booking of this year are trying to postpone to September, October, or next year. We still have, okay, if you come to me and say, you know me, I never say no to anything anyway. So if you come to me and say, I have a bride, she wants to get married, I will find you something. But it's, if somebody comes on and say, I only want that date, that time, then it may be difficult sometimes, yes.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So typically, how long does it take to organise a wedding?
Well, as I said before, if it was last year for Cyprus, I would have said next week, yeah, no problem. Now I will need, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks for Cyprus. So you can come late minute, yes, I can do it. Greece, unfortunately, you will need at least 3 months, because your paperwork will take that long to get ready, because your certificate of no impediment does not take less than 4 weeks to be issued. There's no way around that. So by the time we get the certificate of no impediment, by the time we send them to the Foreign Office, by the time they come back to me and do the translation, you would need 3 months. Okay, most probably me, I'll do it in 2, but I would prefer 3.
Perfect. So our last and final question. Do you have a booking promise in place for new bookings? And what happens to weddings that are booked to travel imminently if the FCDO advice is advising against travel?
This is a really difficult one, because if they've booked a package with us, or if you've booked a package with us and the wedding, then, and the FCDO say, you're not going anywhere, then we have to refund, end of.
Yeah.
However, if they've booked a wedding only, not with a package, not with a holiday, then this actually falls out of the regulation, travel regulation. So we then have to rely on what the resort does. And I'll tell you now, no venues, no suppliers are giving any refund.
Yeah.
And the only way, however, then we go around that is we postpone the date. And we've postponed hundreds, unfortunately, of weddings. In fact, I've just had one now, just had an answer from Santorini, for example, and they've come back, they've given me a new date for next year. Not only have they confirmed the rate that they had this year for the wedding, but they also had booked the accommodation, and they've confirmed to me the same accommodation rate for next year as well.
Fantastic.
And we've done, and I have not charged anybody a penny to do all these hours and hours of work.
Yeah,
like we all do.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's the relationships that you have with the hoteliers, with the people in resort, that makes Planet Weddings so different from anybody else. Like, I've seen you in action and it's impressive.
Nobody dares.
No, they really don't.
Oh, dear.
So have you got any last bits of advice that you would pass on to our bride and grooms?
Yes, anybody wanting to get married, even for 22, please, please, please decide now. Don't wait, because 2022 is filling up like crazy. I mean, end of May, beginning of June, in Lindos, forget it. There is nothing there. And believe me, I know, because I've been trying for the last week, desperately trying to find something. I have, mind you, but I think that's my last. That was my last chance.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Matilda. That was really informative, and we look forward to booking many weddings going forward with you. So
Good.
So join us next time on Catch Up with the Experts, when we will be asking Barrett from ATO his advice on travelling this year. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.